Sagittarius, welcome back for your October read. For those of you who are new, a very warm welcome. I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings. I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame, and I'm here to deliver your messages for October. Now, this is going to cover anything down to astrology, the transits, your romance house, and your career sector and finances. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is from a spiritual and astrological aspect, as well as what my psychic downloads are coming through. So again, you're creating energies of what's coming through, and it's really interesting because it's linking into the moon phases, and I am incorporating the moon phases in to the reads as well to help you actually cope with the symptoms of ascension when we are going through each month, because this is a time frame in which, from the eclipses we had in July, moving all the way to the end of the year with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, it's changing areas of our connections, our family, our tribe, the way we're interacting with people, ourselves collectively, as well as our work domain, our belief systems, our blockages, and where we were potentially preventing ourselves from expanding and growing. Now, we did have last month Jupiter going direct and Uranus going retrograde. Saturn on the 18th did go direct. Now we're going to have Pluto going direct this month, and it is an interesting energy. And I did mention if some of the things of a download you were having, if you didn't adhere to them, they would be coming up again in October. Now, with the Aries moon, it does fall in your romance, birth, children, and luck house. Now, it's the 5th house. You have Spirit of Earth in reverse. So, and I'm going to show you the crowning energy. This is the card you have, which means you're not feeling as grounded. Now, the interesting thing is, Aries is theoretically, at a collective level, we're looking at things and taking accountability of our side of the fence of how we interact with these things and what role we play in that. Jupiter might have been coming through very heavily, and we might have been biting off a little bit too much than we can chew. The eager energy of moving forward. Now, Pluto is going to show you whether it is in balance or not, and if it's not, it's going to come up in an energy sense. Now, your crowning energy with your chakra cards is physical health in reverse. It's your base chakra, and I did mention last month, check your base chakra, because the foundational related issues, you had the 4th house activated last month, which was the psychological foundation, domestic issues, endings, parents, home. You also had the 11th house of friends, clubs, associations, and aspirations, your tribe. And again, Cancer, Capricorn energy. It's relevant for all of us collectively. If you're getting lower back pains, do some base chakra work. You can eat some red food groups. You can listen to meditation. You can pay attention to the energy. You can even use crystals to help balance it out. But be mindful of this. You might need to get grounded, okay? There may be some things going on where you're trying to work on the romance sector, children, bringing something to life. This can be an idea, especially with Jupiter. Again, with your luck, it might be taking a toll on your health. So be cautious as to what the basis of the situation is. With the retrograde, it would have given you some clarity about whether it's going to bode well or not. There might have been fair-based situations that were coming up as well. You do have Jupiter direct, which is positive, so it's going to help you move through that energy. But Pluto is that clearing out energy, and I did mention last month, it is in your self-worth and abundance, and it is there through to 2024. So it is spiritual energy. You're having an opportunity to rewire yourself, recode yourself of what you're entertaining, what your self-worth is, where your benchmark is, where the foundation is. Now, with the Scorpion moon that's coming up, you have Thunder Drum in reverse. And it's interesting because this falls in your 12th house. Your 12th house is positive and negative. Again, it's interesting that I did mention last month that when you reach the 12th house, you can get unwell. Now, with Spirit of Earth in reverse, it can be showing if you're getting fatigued, especially with your physical health in reverse, that it's taking a toll, but it's due to the fact that mid-month you're going to have your 12th house activated. So when we're very dense in the 3D, and we're using our intuition, which is our egoic energy, to problem solve and move forward and tackle things, it ends up being to the detriment of our health. So universe then intervenes and goes, right, we're going to slap you with the 12th house. With that, it takes away your power, because your power is inside. Very 5D. Detoxing it is what's going to help you proceed forward. So if you haven't become unwell, anchor your energy in. Take some time to have some quiet. The quiet is what your body is going to tell you about what to do with these situations. It's your hidden resources. It's the information inside of yourself. It's the toolbox you hold inside yourself to problem solve. Now, both of them have animal totem cards. And I did mention that with certain things, if they weren't balanced and changed, it can take time. It doesn't necessarily have to be an intentional thing occurred. It can also be that it takes some time to actually make these changes. You did last month have the same totem card, and it's come through again. It's those teething problems. Again, it's falling in your romance house. Now, previously, the physical foundation may have been affecting your romance house, or things going on around you. And yes, it is easing up. But at the same time, energetically, it could be now it's taken a toll. Now, rewiring it, changing it up, because you're evolving, as well as by the time you get to the Scorpion new moon, you have snake healing. Now, when you think of snakes, they shed their skin. Again, I am seeing a spiritual awakening for you. A lot of downloads. Now, no anger, thunder drums in reverse, retreating back, gaining clarity, allowing things to actually come to you, be revealed to you, both from external and internal. But it's shedding the skin and it evolving. The other card you have as a crowning energy is connections. And remember, we've got the birth, children, romance, and luck. This is one of the cards, and this is one of the cards that you've got. So it's heart chakra and base chakra. And it's interesting because the Leo moon did create a heart chakra activation. And really, from last month to now, some of those energies you still potentially could be working on. Your foundation-related issues, endings, your friends, your groups, the things you're moving into, especially with Uranus moving retrograde. All the things that potentially you were doing might have been to the detriment of your health, or you've just in general evolved and they're no longer resonating with you, which is completely normal. But again, when it does come to your intuition with connections and your foundation, you're evolving, but internally you're going to find the solutions and answers. Your first card you've got in your financial sector. Now, this can be the way you're looking at money, abundance, the Pluto energy, especially the 2nd of October going direct. You're going to see where maybe you could have changed some things with your finances. You've got savings in reverse. It might have been as much as was coming in was going out. Or that maybe now you're making a decision to actually, when we hold on to our money too tightly, or we're focusing our energy into it too much, we actually directly block it. But again, it's a revelation, or some expense could be coming in. Try not to panic and just focus on moving forward. Your next card you've got, clean energy food in reverse. It may be that some of the expenses have gone on takeout food. I'm just saying, for not all of you, and it might have been due to you being super busy. I'm also seeing you changing the way you're spending your money. But again, with the base chakra coming up, it could be that it's starting to affect your health. And look at me. Also, if you were wondering, with your career, it's like I'm feeling you're having to go back to square one. And this potentially could be your energy you're directly feeling. Feeling quite frustrated that every time you feel you're moving forward, somehow energetically you feel you're moving back. The Pluto energy is energetically teaching you a lesson that this is not a reality. It's more a 5D frequency you're anchoring into in a sense of a belief system. And I've had to really retrain myself, and I'm still working on that now, that when we focus on it as the end goal, it's like the goalpost keeps moving. When we know something is completely out of our control and we detach, solutions come to us. So try not to get yourself triggered, especially with the 12th house activated. I feel you're fine-tuning it. You know, rejection is universe's protection. This is what I'm being shown. So raise or promotion in reverse. Question, are you feeling this is energetically in alignment with you? If you're working on something, if you're in a job, or do you feel you're worth more? And when you hear that and you know that, but then you look at the blocks, again, it's anchored into the belief system of what you feel. Cooperation instead of competition. You're unique in your own energy. You know, we do have this theory in life of we want to be the manager, or we want to be that go-to person to achieve that big dream. And that's not for all of us, but for some. Understand that anything that's being moved or shifted in your life, it is to give you what you actually manifested. Now, you guys might be worried about the end of the year at a financial level. And you might not be enjoying some of the things that you have in front of you. And this is a very temporary energy. It's a shift for you guys. If I do have time, I'll do another read mid-month to check back in with this area. Again, feel free to book a reading and we can tune in. When you're removing blockages spiritually, you can shift through this energy a lot quicker and already be operating in the next month's astrology. So it depends on how quick you spiritually move through that frequency. I'm going to pull a few clarifiers and see how this energy transitions. It's ironic when you're going through a transitional state, which is shedding skin, 12th house. 9 times out of 10, you're quite concerned about your finances, but then you detach from that. It's an egoic state. You're moving into a different way of vibrating and being. You're moving into the 5D. When you do that, you find suddenly everything does flow because you feel you have no control, and therefore you allow the process to be what it's to be, and naturally things come towards you. It's the laws of attraction. Being decisive comes down to don't regret any decision you choose to make. And I feel as though you guys might be on the fence. Do I stay? Do I go? Do I need to move forward? Is there something I need to do? Just choose one path. It's not wrong. It's not right. Whatever you feel guided to do, be patient and allow the process to resolve. But build it on a solid foundation. Base chakra, foundation. Connections, foundation. Even if you feel, and this is the lessons that Pluto is gearing you into, and it can really fly you into it, especially with your 12th house. You have a hunch and you go, right, this is what I'm going to do. I've had my download, being decisive, getting the download. Suddenly understanding in the 12th house that it's going to take some time, but with Jupiter behind you, looking at the flaws in the previous plan versus what you choose to do now is going to help you be very successful. And I feel this is a necessary transition that you're physically going through. And it's also the energy. And I pulled a separate card for you guys on this read. And it's celebration in reverse. It's almost like the instant gratification energy. Being decisive, being patient. Nothing was built in a day, but each decision takes you one step closer to your dream. Everything is a risk. Honestly, everything is a risk. But it's, are you passionate about it? Do you feel grounded in doing it? Are you willing to put your back into it? Choose what you feel energetically is in alignment for you. Now let's get into your romance section. Which as soon as I pulled the cards, I was like, you can't make it up. Now, 12th house activation, psychic intuition. The heart of the matter and the crowning energy is trust your intuition. Now remember, the Aries moon of what you're guided to do in a foundational related issue, in something that potentially with your physical health being in reverse, you're needing to go into your intuition. So instead of reacting, listen to how you feel. Listen to what your thoughts are telling you. Is it a pain body experience or is it something you're guided to do? Look at the map in her hand. I feel the moon energy between the Aries and the Scorpion moon is highly intuitive for you. You're hearing the vibration, you're living the vibration, you're then going into the motion of going into your intuition but trusting in the process, and the crown chakra is being activated. In the 3D, you might be really focused on work. You might be really focused on financial aspects, or it might be your love interest expectation or yours. The energy can bounce back and forward. You're a bit concerned as to what to jump into. You might have been really hurt in the past. But it's like, and this doesn't have to be that it's about the relationship. This very much could be some internalization that you had going on, and you're processing risks. You're processing putting energy into things, past tense failures. It can be impacting the way you feel energetically about yourself, but I'm feeling you to be quite peaceful. I'm feeling you to be actually mathematically solving situations in your mind. External to you, there has been a delay and potentially will be. Don't get triggered by it. Trust it. Rejection is protection. Okay, so if you do get unwell and you need to take a little bit of downtime, go with the flow. Now, your partnered energy, be it you're with them or not, because I do read for twin flames, there is some communication coming through, and it can be quite full of information, and you're having a lot of downloads, and you're like, now, do I need to read in between the lines here? I feel as though it's quite forceful communication. And look at their faces, like, I'm telling you, okay? Now, in their head, they're thinking of what to say. And they might be, whatever pops into their head, it might be coming out of their mouth. Now, you need to go into the mind and choose whether this triggers you. Now, this can be a past tense memory coming back of what was said and trying to comprehend what the meaning was, because you have some more enlightenment. External to them, they're having a change, and it is, you know, it's a change of plans, and it's due to some foundational related situations. Something has changed the path moving forward. They're frustrated with the delays, but they're trying to see solutions. They're looking at realistic solutions, but they do know in order for that to occur, some things need to be shifted about. Yeah, you might become unwell. Okay, this is ascension symptoms, and that's why I did mention in September, you can, and this could be your counterpart's energy or yours, but I'm feeling it's more yours, Sagittarius, but simultaneously both of you will experience a pain-body experience. It can be the dark night of the soul, and I was really tuning into that, becoming quite relevant for male energies. That there are stages of the dark night of the soul, which can be a depressed state one goes through, especially with the 12th house activation, where it's a purge of that. You become quite light in frequency, and you find you actually, any backwards motion, which is quite weird because the movement of the planet's going direct, and I'm hearing backwards motion. Any delay, you have 50 steps forward, so trust it. Whatever is evolving in this connection is for that. Now, external to you, the things you're investing in, you energetically might be feeling really iffy, Sag, okay? Your partner's energy in their heart, they're overwhelmed. They could be causing conflict. It might be that they're really battling with themselves. They could be fighting with you. And there's a lot of stop and start, so there's a delay. And again, while you're having this download, I feel their energy is on the pause button. I'm going to pull some clarifiers. What else does Sagittarius need to know? I find these cards really amusing. Okay. Seek hidden treasure. 12th house. 12th house. It's inside you. Your truth is inside you. Solutions are inside you, connected to this relationship and what you want to do moving forward. Both of you at the heart of the matter I had to be cut off. So if you're wondering where the rest of the video went, I got cut off with a phone call. Now, energetically when I was away, The other card that came through is both of you energetically are going to be reflecting on your truth. Now, your partnered energy might be a little bit serious, but there could be something energetically going on with them very separately. Laughing at their own demons, and it come up in reverse. Now, I did say initially I was going to read these upright, but I'm guided to read that in reverse. So it might just be their energy is a little bit quiet, a little bit more introverted, looking at things and waiting, because I feel you're changing and they're receptively feeling this energy, be it you're together or not. This delay of what's coming, you're having this huge shift, and this was really coming through from July, but it's really amping up, and it was in September, but it could be potentially coming through heavily in October, especially with the Pluto going direct. So I feel anything you're moving towards, you're having this massive transformation going on. And I do feel that you have this bright idea of what you're wanting to do. This is both within your connections, linking the dots, and also getting to a place where you look at what wasn't working in the past and what's going to work moving forward, which is the Pluto energy. I want you guys this month to trust your intuition. It's not just intuition, it's your truth that is coming to you in a sense of a download, because I feel you're going to gain clarity of what to do. And these can be bright ideas, especially with the 12th house and the Jupiter direct energy. It's going to work really well for you. So, you know, really have faith in yourself. Some people might think you're a bit funky this month, but at the same time, I feel you're on the right track. Love and light, and I will see you on the other side. Hello, Sagittarius. I've had to do your video so many times. Whatever you're going through, it's just, it must be driving you crazy. Crazy, I tell you. Now, we're going to get into your read. We're going to ease into it. For those of you, a very warm welcome. I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings. I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame. As well as I do try and connect in the moon phases as well as astrology. I'm going to explain to you for this month what's coming up for you, both psychically, astrologically speaking, and the houses that's been activated, as well as your romance house. Now, like I said, I've had to do this video about 5 times, and it's been for, you know, the camera shutting down. So I'm feeling as though you guys are having to go and backtrack. Now, retrograde cycles usually do denote that. We're going back over old ground. It can be an arduous time where we're reflecting on old ways we were doing things, and trying to fine-tune things, especially with the eclipses we had in July. That energy is still relevant till the end of the year, and we will be having more eclipses again. Now, we do have 2 planets going direct. We've got Jupiter on the 1st, and we have Uranus going retrograde on the 1st simultaneously. We also, on the 18th, have Saturn going direct, which is positive and negative. Doesn't have to be negative. It just means a shift in energy. It's like the father figure of universe. Now, Pluto will be going direct October 2nd. And the reason I'm bringing Pluto up is because the activation, you know, Pluto's about births, deaths, resurrections, and new beginnings. You know, can it be fixed? What's going on? Now, it is falling in the energy of your finances, and it's more your relationship you're having with it, your belief. It can be your employment, especially with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, and some things governed around those scenarios that are impacting you moving forward, but it can be a blockage spiritually. I really feel you guys might have been, you know, having this belief connected to conditioning. It might be a belief system you have that there's a wall there, and because, and I'll give this a very broad kind of analogy. A bit like thinking something's happened and they've said you can't walk across the road, so therefore it's a virtual impossibility. So the acceptance of that is there, but the spiritual acceptance isn't there because you're trying to find a solution to it. Any blockages you guys have been having with it, I feel you're coming to terms with the fact that you're changing. You're outgrowing that belief system now, which is very positive because the lower chakras are being activated as your crowning energy. Now you've got sacral chakra and relationships. So this is the temptation. This is where the fire in the belly comes from, and the change of the situations, the connections, your relationships. and the dynamics of how positively and negatively they may be directly affecting you. This can be also with the Pisces moon coming up this month for you guys. You're going to be going through a changing scenario. Now you're going to be probably more emotional when it does come to your psychological foundation, because it falls in your 4th house. Domestic issues, endings, parents and home. There can be some teething problems around these areas. The positive thing is with Jupiter going direct, you're going to have the energy to try and get some of the old projects that very separately to these dynamics had been hindering you. So it might be tackling the actual physical foundations, looking at things, having the empath aspect to it and trying to find a way to smooth the soil over to proceed forward. Now by September with the Libra moon, the 11th house is activated, and it's friends, clubs, associates and aspirations. And it's interesting because the Pelican totem, I pulled a totem card for you guys. This is for the Libra moon. It is connected to that. It's where there are people in your life potentially causing adverse effects that could be impacting you. Now, sometimes it's not necessarily that you stop doing those things. And again, with Uranus going retrograde for the 11th house, it's interesting that it's friends, clubs, associations and aspirations, because this can be connected to pastimes and luxuries and things you like doing, that all of a sudden it could be to the detriment of the foundation of particular scenarios. So you may be spreading yourself too fine. You might have had some pastimes that you like to do. Now with the planet going retrograde, you can be reflecting over whether that was in your best interest. And you may be forming new things that you want to discover. You'll find the reflection of the old will be quite in your face during that time. To clear the path for 2020 to see whether it resonates with you any longer. And it's not to say that these are bad things. These can be super great things. The Virgo moon last month was asking us to get that health check, to get some downtime. You know, maybe spreading yourself too fine and giving to too many scenarios of higher and lower frequency. It was directly impacting your health and your sanity and affecting the physical foundation. Now, you did get the kangaroo totem for the Pisces moon at the beginning of the month. And it's also a clarification card. You got Dream Traveller. So you may have lots of hopes and dreams that you're wanting to achieve, but there's teething problems surrounding these areas. And again, there's something in the structure and the foundation. Do some base chakra work, because foundational related issues again can stem from childhood wounds. And the belief systems being activated with the Pluto energy is to do with your conditioning and beliefs about money. So this is causing a blockage. It can be opinions of mother, father, and it's not that they're wrong. It's just I feel you've outgrown them. And definitely with this transit moving into 2024, this is going to be a theme that's going to be coming up quite a bit. Now, in the retrograde, the bonus is you're having that time to dissolve some of those belief systems and those blockages spiritually. So you are going to need to pay attention to the pain body experiences you're having in the retrograde and how you're relating to them in the direct, because this is through to 2024, okay? So it will be a common theme you're going to be working on, and there is mass ability for you guys to be super successful, but these blockages are preventing you from moving forward. So it's imperative that you start looking at those if you feel this directly resonates with you. Now, by the Libra moon, it's where the balance is coming from. And again, you know, maybe having a little bit more time to actually do some things that are beneficial to you, but be cautious with that 4th house. It may be you need some downtime to do things. Again, with Uranus going retrograde, although it's falling in the Libra moon cycle, you need to be careful to keep the balance. Try and keep the balance, but do things that make you feel happy. I do feel this is going to be very important, but it's also with the Pelican totem, it does directly relate to that. So it can be a time of networking. It can be a time of actually looking at things and going, okay, do I need to branch out? Some of you, I feel energetically are getting to a point you're looking at a different career. Some of you also understand that you've been limiting yourself. But you also, with your relationship with the cash component, is a self-worth vibration. So if you find you've been struggling, again, it's a belief system and a blockage within the chakras, but it can be past life as well as this current life, childhood conditioning and a belief system due to some scenarios that occurred. It can be a very exhausting energy. By October, you're going to have the 12th house activated. Now, this is a very, very intuitive time for you. So I'd say by mid-month, you're going to find your intuition's going to be really heightened. You have some great ideas going on, and this is really what's been shown to me, but it's like you feel guilty to jump and do them. You're unsure whether it's going to be successful. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, but the foundation needs to be set. Now, your first energy is into the ethers. You sent a request, something that you'd really been wanting, and this is in your career sector, where you're moving towards, the work you're putting in, your finances. But you're going to have to move some things that don't work. Now, the retrograde helps us see what you had been doing versus what hasn't been working and what to do to proceed forward. Jupiter direct is going to help you take the bull by the horns with that. You've got a lot of ideas, and this is coming through by mid-month. Unlimited ideas. 12th house will be activated next month for you guys. What you got to get is that you're going to find that, I'd say by the Libra moon, you may be actually intuitively receiving some of the next month's energy. That's what I've sort of been finding lately. So we're in two dual energies simultaneously. And once you've moved through a frequency and you've alchemized it, you're already moving on to the next energy of the moon, regardless of it being here, especially with the astrological aspects that's coming through. The unlimited ideas, again, it's purple. It is the crown chakra. And with the 12th house being activated, which is your subconscious mind in October, which I'll mention in the other video, your abundance mindset comes from your crown, okay? But also knowing anything of a self-worth energy, which is the Pluto energy that it's trying to teach you. This is a transit you're going through spiritually between now and 2024. Other aspects obviously will be made. But again, the balance with family and institutes, family and work, tribe and work is all being activated, as well as, are you letting things get in the way? Are things imbalanced? Do you need to do something to change that? Focus on you. Do the work, okay? Jump in, do what you feel is going to connect with you. If this means researching a new skill, do such. If it means getting the foundation ready for a business venture, Jupiter direct is going to give you the ability to start doing that. Anything of a download sense that you've had is going to help you proceed forward. Successful funding. Some of you are refinancing. Again, looking at things and shuffling them, but also gaining that connection with abundance mindset. I do feel some of you might have been working too hard, or been working hard but not getting what you're entitled to, as well as feeling at times you're more than the cash component. Good, because you are more than the cash component. There is a change happening, and anything you're wanting to achieve. This successful funding, I feel, is actually coming from you. Some of you, it's if you're wanting to start a business and you have that grand idea, it will be coming. But I do feel some of you are refinancing. Some of you are getting to a point where you're trying to get your finances in order, and you're following your intuition, because there has been a wake-up call, and again, it's connected to Pluto. Correcting mistakes, changing things, learning from what the retrograde cycle has given you. And it's not that through those lessons it means everything's shredded away and taken from you. Farther from the fact, it's usually you're moving forward with more information than you previously had, because when the planets are direct, it's almost like we're very dense in the 3D. We can feel and sense the 5D, which I'd say between now and 2020, we're moving more into 5D. Correcting your mistakes is seeing where the flaws were in the plan, in the foundation, and proceeding forward. Taking the information you gained, not quitting, tackling it in a different way. Being of service. You know, do what you need to do. Trust in the process. You've had your light bulb moments. Do what you can to get back on your correct track of what you feel's right. Now, we're going to get into the romance read. And You know, last time when I did the read, there were 3 energies coming through. Now, some of you might have gone through a breakup, and there was an old energy coming through, and I did pull the cards again. I did get a few separate cards, but I'm still going to relay that message because it was a very relevant message. Some of you have a pain body experience either on your side or your partner's side. Love interest. It doesn't have to be physically with them, because I am a twin flame and you spiritually interconnect with each other regardless. So some of you actually are having a pain body experience and you're triggered and spiritually blocked due to a past tense betrayal. This could be on both sides of the fence or it could be directly together. But the card did come through in the initial read. There is healing going on connected to that, but again, I'm feeling past life, past tense connections or scenarios coming back to be healed in some shape or form. Again, this can be directly impacting your beliefs moving forward. Are you safe? Is it okay? Are you worthy? Those things are shifting. And with the Pluto direct, that purging that you're going to be going through is going to help heal that situation. But Saturn as well. Let me have a look where Aries is for your first house. Where did I put my charts? Bear with me. I don't look that attractive today, but we'll live, won't we? Let's have a look where Aries is. Bear with me. So organised. Like I said, I've had to do this video several times, so we will work through these energies. I had them here. You need to look where your Chiron energy is. I think I put them on the other table. Because for you guys, you know, looking at the energy where Chiron is with your wounds, oh, here it is. Okay, Aries is your 5th house. Now, your 5th house activation is your romance, your birth, your children, and your luck. I kept hearing Aries in my head. Now, obviously with Chiron, in the 1st house at a very general level, it's where we look at ourselves and understand. Now, it's activated in your romance house. So a lot of your energy to do with your wounds, you're taking a lot of accountability about how you partook in situations versus how other people, but taking accountanship on your side of the fence and looking at how you can feel about that. Again, a lot of pain body experiences do directly link back to childhood. So unfortunately, the work that we do, subliminally, the trigger point that comes to us is directly from situations that occur in the new here and now. But a lot of the old pain body experience and the reason we get so triggered is due to childhood related dynamics. So when we find closure and understanding and we gain perspective from various time frames and space in between it, we look at it in a different way. And that's really what's coming through. Now, for both of you, there is some sense of a celebration. This could have been something that occurred quite recently. It's the crowning energy. You know, you want to have that happy ending. You want to get to a point where you can have this happy ending. And again, I'm saying with the 3, it's almost like masculine, feminine, and the Trinity, you know, the triangle, actually getting to a point where this spiritual connection is formed and very balanced. But also this could be around a time frame of a birthday, an anniversary, where there is going to be a celebration. You also may be feeling more like you would like more time to socialize. And again, with the 11th house, although you have this connection, for those of you who are in a connection, it's like you're torn in 2 different ways and you need to be very careful. You do need time for yourself, but it's coming to that healthy compromise to balance the foundation out. Overall, this connection is going to go the difference. The anchored energy is, some of you are already in a connection. Some of you have this spiritual connection, you know what it is, and it's very anchored in. But it's how to simultaneously have that connection versus be uniquely yourself. In your headspace, there could be some triggers that come up, okay? At an emotional level, and it's coming into your mind and it's taking you back. External to you, what's going on, you know, you're looking around at scenarios of what could be, how things could have been. It could be people coming towards you, offering you fairy tales. Again, it's like I'm seeing more regressing back, but several ways this could go. That's what I'm being told. Now, on their side of the fence and their headspace, this could, the energies can swap, okay? So although I'm saying this is Sagittarius' side, take the energy of how it relates, because you guys could be mirroring each other, especially if you're soulmate twin flames. So each energy could be, hey, hang on a minute, that's my partner's energy, that's not my energy. So it could be one of you are feeling a little bit jealous, the other is feeling one isn't learning a karmic lesson. External, there is clashes of will and ego going on. He said this, she said that, she said, he said. You get my point. Now, in the heart, there is loyalty to this connection. And again, celebration, wanting a celebration, wanting to energetically be in this connection and it to go the distance. Now, you or your counterpart is going into hermit mode. They're tuning into what they're feeling. They might be a little bit distant, a little bit reflective. External of what they're putting their energy into is tuning into where it didn't go right. And again, with Pluto direct, especially if you look at their zodiac sign, both of you are looking at, through the retrogrades and the directs, what didn't work, what is working, and what can we do to move this situation forward. External to you, there might be a lot of people around you that are being a little bit needy, a little bit emotional, and you're seeing an aspect of yourself inside of these people. I'm feeling like both of you are going through a healing. You're just doing it in a different way. There are going to be some conversations that come up for those of you in communication, and I'm going to read these upright if I haven't told you that, because they're direct messages, those cards. I'll take those two. Okay, your partner's thinking things through. They're like, I need to think on this. I'm not going to jump the gun. I'm going to hear you out. I'm going to feel it out. They haven't stopped thinking yet, but they are thinking very deeply about this, but they're being very rational. They're also facing their own shadow, and they're understanding an aspect of what's going on with them, and it can be fear-based frequencies coming up. You're needing to laugh at your demons because you are actually mirroring each other. Both of you are making sacrifices in order to have this happy ending. Regardless of being together or not, there are some things that you're moving and shifting energetically to bring this balance back. But since you guys are going through an upgrade, as I said, and with the 12th house being activated in October, that's really going to help you anchor that energy in. Both of you are needing to, and it's so strange, the connection's there. The spiritual connection's there. Be it you're in a partnership or you're single, there is a connection here. But you're really quite singular energies at the moment, and it is because you're both healing and you're correcting and adjusting to everything, trying to get the foundation. So it's very 3D at the moment. So the nurturing yourself first comes in. You know, although this falls on the Two of Cups and the connection, it's like both of you might have had a lot going on where, you know, shadow aspects are coming through. Yes, I do feel this is a past life connection, but you're having to get to a place where, regardless of whether this is a soulmate energy, a karmic energy, or a twin flame, you energetically will know. This is past life related though. The meditation your counterpart's going through is to gain clarity on it, but there are things, there's always reasons why we as people are brought together. But you're both having an upgrade. You might get a little bit fluid moving into the 12th house activation because it is where your subconscious mind opens, and when you have too many downloads, especially with retrogrades, you can get sick. Last message. What do they need to know? I'm also seeing communication's the key, but you guys are going to be Pardon me. You're facing your adversities. They are taking the lead of what they feel's right. And again, it's saying it twice. Love yourself first. Like, you guys are needing a little bit of downtime. It can be very separately. If you're in a loving relationship, there's too many people needing on you, and you're going into hermit mode together collectively and needing to have some more time. But I'm feeling for many of you, it's not that the love isn't here. Some of you know. But for a pocket of you, there is an energy coming through where you're needing to do something spiritual for yourselves, just temporarily, to get the foundation right, because you've got your physical foundation activated in your 4th house and you have your 11th house activated. So it's getting back to doing some nice things for yourself. Love and light. I'll see you during the month.